Hello and welcome to another edition of We the People Show, coming to you live from Vancouver in Canada, a production of the UHTV Niger, that's Universal Heritage TV Niger. Of course, our major office is in Owerri, but we broadcast this particular segment from Vancouver in Canada. I am Obidi Marco, your uncle, and today we'll be looking at the issue that is currently, being discussed in Imo State today, which is the sale of the NUJ Secretariat. Of course, we all know that the Nigerian Union of Journalists, have a very befitting secretariat located along Port Harcourt Road that was gifted to them many years ago, even by the military government. But controversies have continued to trail the purported selling of that secretariat by some persons. I have two renowned journalists with me today that are going to look into this issue. These are veteran journalists who have paid their dues as far as the pen job is concerned. The first is the one we call Eda Lambert Ojukwu. Eda Lambert Ojukwu is a publisher, he's a journalist, and he's anything you can talk about media as far as Imo State is concerned. Eda Lambert Ojukwu, you're welcome to the program.
Thank you very much. It's my pleasure.
I have another guest with me, another, you say, a prolific writer, a renowned journalist. I don't even know where to start and where to end in, describing him. But as far as the field of journalism is concerned, he is a father, the one they call the father in the pen job. Chief Chid Nkwopara, welcome to the program.
Obidima, God bless you abundantly. Okay. How are you doing?
I'm good. I'm good.
In Vancouver.
Yeah, we're just battling with COVID. Yeah, I'm good. Okay, so today, like I said, we are going to be looking at the issue of the purported sale of the NUJ Secretariat. And I will start with Eda Lambert Ojukwu to give us a kind of background to this issue, how it started, the progression, and where we are presently today. So, Eda Lambert, you have the floor.
Thank you very much, and thank you again for having me. Well, the issue is real. The allegation is real, but unfortunate. The sale of a NUJ Secretariat, which we normally call the press center, is real. It is anchored on the evidence we have from a letter written in 2022 by the then president of Nigerian Union of Journalists in Nigeria, Comrade Isiguzo Christopher. So, and he wrote a letter which was also countersigned by the Secretary of the Union, Shuaibu Liman, giving vent or authority to the people in Imo, that is the Imo Council, led then by Chris Akaronye, to sell the union's secretariat. And this they did through the back door without the knowledge of the greater percentage of journalists in Imo State. And that is the crux of the matter. So it's the truth. So when we found out, we saw the letter, we didn't know about it. That was in 2022. But before then, there was a matter in the National Industrial Court in Owerri, where the emergence of Chris Akaronye as the state chairman of a new day is being challenged by my humble self and Comrade Ambiuneze. Two of us ran, including Akaronye. But that time, Isiguzo was the national vice president. He never allowed that election to go through under the supervision of then outgoing state chairman Innocent Igwe of IBC Chapel. So the case was in court. Myself and Ambulance and others, a couple of good journalists, we have to drag the matter to NICN, National Industrial Court, Owerri, so that we were challenging the purported selection of Chris Akaranye, who was imposed on us by this Innocent Igwe and Chris Isiguzo. We told them election has to hold because they didn't allow the election to hold the way we normally do it. We do it chapel by chapel. You paste the chapel lists on the wall during the election so that people will now vote according to chapels. We vote chapel by chapel. That was not done. So that was the beginning of the challenge. 2 years later, that suit was instituted or initiated in 2019, January 2019. 2 years later, we now got this letter which I mentioned earlier, written by Shoaib Liman and instructed by Chris Isiguzo, the national president, purporting to have sold our secretariat to one Enedo Services, Nigeria, Enedo. We didn't know about it. In 2022 years, we were having our Congress, usual Congress, at the Port Harcourt Road of the Secretariat. Then we saw a group of people who came and pasted some documents on the walls from the gate into the building, into the premises. That the place has been sold, and there was that what they were pasting was copy of judgment already gotten without our knowledge. We were not part of the suit. We were not invited in any form or shape. We were not represented. That was in 2022 that they got the judgment. But they served all these things, they pasted these things in January. I mean, in January, in some months inside 2023. So we are taken aback. Every credible journalist in Imo State became very, very surprised. What did we do? We have to challenge it in court. The next day they came to bring down with the caterpillars to bring down our structures. So we occupied the secretariat and make sure that our lawyer, Professor Francis Dike San, got us a counter judgment. That was how we returned it. The matter started in court. And the matter is in court in one of the courts in Imo State, Court 8, High Court 8, presided over by Honorable Justice and Ondoneze Mado. So the case has been there since 2023, 1 year and the first responded there, or if you like, the first people with defendants were NUJ, the national level, then Chris Isiguzo, Shuai Buliman, the national secretary, Chris Akaronye, the purported state council state chairman, then the secretary, his secretary, one Juliet Dean of IBC Chapel. So we went to court, and the matter has been on. And one senior advocate, Okore, is also Barrister Okore's son, is also handling the matter for them, while our own is Professor Francis Dike. So the matter has been on for the past 1.5 years. So it is real. The property was sold, but we have to stop it. And that was what brought about the last judgment a few days, about 2 weeks ago. So it is real. Anybody trying to say that the matter is not real is lying. You cannot take such a very decision, without journalists in Imo State knowing. So we were taken aback because we had the issue of who is the authority in our council as the state chairman. That matter is in a court. In a court. And you now come and sell our property 2 years after, while the matter is still in court.
Yeah. Okay. Let me now come to Chief Chidin Kwapara, let me come to you, sir. As a journalist, having put all the years you put into this profession, I'm sure you are aware of how that building came about. In fact, I want you to start from telling us how that building was acquired by journalists, and then tell us how you felt, when you heard that the building was sold. How you felt as a veteran in the field.
Well, thank you very much, first of all, for identifying me as a veteran journalist. Thank you also for all the good things you said about my person. And I must tell you that actually I have paid my dues in journalism. I have served variously as secretary of the correspondence and then chairman of the correspondence chapel. Now, this um, property in question was given to the Nigerian Union of Journalists Imo State Council during the Amadi Ukweche administration, a military governor at the time. It's been quite a long time. Now, this particular building was part of the structures constructed by the state administration at the time. And because of the way the state council chairman then, in the person of Ben Osuabu, the type of relationship he tried to build at the time with the state government led to the ceding of one of these government properties to NUJ. And it has remained so over the years. No administration tampered with it. Now, somewhere along the line, and particularly during the Rocha Sokorocha administration, we now heard that there is another NUJ secretariat somewhere in New World. Well, nobody will say that it wasn't what I may call a good development. Good development in the sense that that property could have been used for some other thing, while this one remains. But then it turned out to be another press center. Nobody would have quarreled if that place was turned into a service center or
Or a cafeteria, maybe a big restaurant
a
for
guest
journalists,
house.
a park for journalists.
Exactly. Give it any name, but this should remain as press center. Well, we kept watching events, and then there was that I call it unceremonious movement from the Port Harcourt Road Press Center to the new Owerri. And one other thing that is so intriguing about this is that even where the new so-called press center is located, that building is not supposed to be there because it is not part of the original uh, plan or a master plan. So the master plan was toyed with, it was tampered with, it was distorted to now build this building, and then one of it given to NUJ, the other one to NLC. So I will even say that government ought to revert that area to what it was originally meant for. That has not been done till now. So I wasn't too happy when these things started developing, and moreover, it has now led to what I may call washing our dirty linen in the public. People have now come to know what they shouldn't have known about the NUJ. Let us not forget that the NUJ is the fourth estate. We are the watchdogs of society. And behold, it is the society that is now acting as the watchdog against the NUJ. It doesn't make sense as far as I am concerned. And whatever is there at the Port Harcourt Road should remain the way it is. And that is just it.
Okay.
I am not happy with what is happening or
Okay.
what tried to happen.
Okay. So this brings me to the Lambert Ojukwu. There is a fact or a point that Chief Chidun Kwachara has made here. He said this particular development started during the Rochas Okorocha regime. And when the Hope Uzodinma regime came on board, one of the mantra of his administration was to recover Imo from certain malfeasance and illegalities committed by the Rochas Okorocha administration, which this one ought to have been a very important uh, point in that. So what happened? What now made instead of retracing or recovering this place, reverting that action by the Rochas Okorocha administration, knowing the sensitivity of this matter and how important journalists are, the fourth realm of the estate? Why is it that the government continued then to act as if they supported this sell-off of the Secretariat? I'm asking Eda Ojuku to comment on this.
Yes. Yes. Thank you very much. The issue was that, yes, it was later in the process. You know, we are journalists, we do what we call investigative journalism. It was in the process of our investigation, based on the document produced by the purported owner, a new owner of the place, called Enedo General Services, Nigeria. It was during our investigation that we now find out that the so-called governor may have used this man as a surrogate, or rather a front, to buy the property or to acquire it. So we, ab initio, we didn't know the government or the governor was involved. It was when we were served this order to quit the place by the documents that were pasted on the walls and the gate of the premises that we were taken aback, and we began to investigate. We found out that the NATO services is even owned by one in Reverend Lemchuku, Reverend Lemchuku, who they call Godon. We understand he buys property for the former governor. That's what allegedly we had. And all this while, when we have been writing about this thing, the purported sale in the matter, as we report each development from the court, as we went to court, each day we went to court, we were writing it in some newspapers. Nobody has told us that this man is not a surrogate of government, because we continue mentioning it, sublimely saying that this person is a front to a former governor of Imo State. So nobody has challenged that. So now this Nedo man is one Reverend Gordon Lemchukwu, who is also an Anglican reverend gentleman. So we expected him not to double into this. So it was during that time, during our investigation, we found out that he was a front for one-time governor, and nobody has challenged it ever since we have been mentioning it, because we see that their lawyer is the same lawyer of the governor. Their
Okay.
lawyer, the professional stand lawyer, is the governor of the former governor. So
Okay.
we have to
So
put one and two together.
yeah. So then my question then becomes, if it was discovered that this man was a front to the former
No,
governor.
no, no, no. The matter was in court. The
Okay.
matter was in court.
Okay.
So the government, the state government, the Usodima government cannot come into it. And nobody has ever made a formal complaint to the governor. The place was not it was not encumbered. Government gave us a CFO. We have the original CFO as I speak with you. But they went and brought a fake CFO, with which they sold the place. All those documents are there. We should extract them. So they brought a fake, CFO when we have the original CFO. And we understand the various amounts were being dangled. So the use of the government never knew what happened. They don't know exactly the implication of what was happening. So the matter was in court. Even if they know, they couldn't have jumped into it. And we didn't make any formal complaint. We started to fight it out, believing that it is our case. And we, by God's special grace, we went on doing it. So what we did was to keep the place green, get it painted, get some people, journalists to occupy it, and some of our staffers, and they were there. So get some people who run eatery, one or two eatery there, so that the place is kept warm and nobody, barrages into it. And that is what helped us. So the
Okay.
Uzodinma government was not officially in the know of what is happening, except recently when the judgment was given.
Okay. Let me now come to Chief Chidin Kwapra. I saw a statement issued by one of the factional chairmen of the union in Imo State. Even though so many facts point that he's not a credible chairman, but he issued a statement, one Ifa and one Guma, and in that statement he was saying that the secretariat belongs to the national body of NUJ. Given your years of practice, so does it mean that the national secretariat can just come down and sell any building in any at any in any state what do you call it, council, without
And,
their consent
and
or without approval? Does it just work like that? uh, Chief Chidin Kwabra, I'm asking you, what's your experience?
On you can see I am laughing. The thing is this: even if anything is your private property, there must be cogent reasons before you dispose of it. If you have two cars, for instance, and there is the need for you to pay your children's school fees, salaries are not forthcoming. If you decide to sell one of the cars for use in paying your children's school fees, it is cogent. But then, courtesy demands that you lay the facts bare for every member of the family to know that this is the situation where we are. This is the only way out. If a new J owns the property and the property is domiciled in Imo State, is it not proper that we should know that this is what is going to happen to this property? Is it improper for anybody to call a congress and let the journalists decide that this is what we want to do with our property? In any case, why would we want to cede our property that is closest to town and then go into somewhere? You may have to take 2 or 3 drops before you start accessing the new place. I don't see it as tenable. National headquarters cannot just get up from their sleep and then jump into any state and sell any property. It's not done. It's not proper. And they know it. How many other state councils, state council buildings have they sold? Why must it be Imo? These are questions which they have not answered. It's not right. It's not right. And if they wanted to start testing their power from Imo, they have now found out that it won't work.
Okay.
I
Well,
thank the court
considering
for
the size,
coming up with.
of the two, secretariats, per se, I understand the first. Just tell us, comparatively, the two secretariats, which are bigger in terms of land mass, in terms of structures, and you have also talked about proximity, saying that the other one is closer. But comparatively, we just want to know, the edge one has over the other, maybe to find out the reason why they may want to, dispose of it.
let me even say that there cannot be any cogent reason for that action. The size of property is not even any cogent reason for it. Even if the new place is an entire town, you don't lose your natural heritage because you now want a new one. And let us not forget that this building, the old one, is solid. And we know the type of structures the former governor makes. I don't want to go into that, but I will prefer the old structure, the old strong structure, the old structure that is sited within reach of everybody. It's on the road. Anybody can just take a walk to the place. But definitely you will need something to move you if you want to go to the new place. And you know what transportation cost now looks like. So I am not interested in the size of the two properties. I am looking at proximity. I am looking at the strength of the building. I am equally looking at an old structure given to journalists in Imo State. It should stand. Nobody should toy with it. Nobody should want to use us as guinea pigs.
Okay.
It
All right.
shouldn't
So
happen.
yeah. So let me now come to Lambert Ojukwu.
But sorry there, before
Okay.
you move to him,
Yeah.
let us not forget also that the former state council chairman, Ben Osuagu, has severally condemned what is happening or what has been happening to that state council. Is something he holds so dear to himself because that is the sweat of his labor. And then for the thing to just go unsung, he's been fighting against it. Nobody loves to lose what he really suffered to get for
Yeah.
the good of everybody.
Yes.
In
Yes.
any case, whether the thing is leased or sold, does anybody know the
Yeah.
outcome? Who and who pocketed the money if it was sold or leased? Where is the money?
And what account was the money paid into? How much was it? Yeah. Okay.
In any case, this man who we are now being told is an Anglican priest, can't we even report him to his bishop?
Yes. I'm coming to that now.
Is
I
that
want to ask
what is
Lambert Ojukwu because the NUJ in Imo State can never be more grateful, you know, uh, to you over your, steadfastness and doggedness in fighting for the recovery of this building. You have always been at the forefront of it. I also need to mention Comrade Steve Uzechi, and even the NUJ, the authentic NUJ chairman, Comrade Precious Wadike.
precious?
So, yeah, you guys have been very, very steadfast, unrelenting, even when others got weak. Instead of you getting weak, you inspire and motivate them the more to fight on. And today, journalists in Imo State are rejoicing and jubilating, all because of your efforts. Now, the question I want to ask you is there is a release. I'm asking Chief Lambert Ojukwu now. There is a release from the immediate past national chairman of the NUJ, Chris Isiguzo. Yeah, where he claimed that he's being blackmailed and that he had no hand in any selling, that he never even heard of any such thing, during his tenure and all of that. So I want you to shed light on that because I've seen court documents, bearing his name as part of the defendant. So I wouldn't know. Is it that he was not served, or this matter was not going on while his administration was on? I mean, I want to understand why he feigned ignorant of this development.
Okay, thank you very much. He was served. Shuaib Liman was served. The professor who is a son and also an HOD in IMSU,
Oh, it seems we are having a glitch there. It seems the network has got bad a bit. Okay, I'm going to maybe let him. Um, I would like him to click back to join us. Okay, I think he's back now. Let me see if he's back and if you can hear us. I think the network is not very. Eda, can you hear me now? Are you back? Can you hear me? I think his network has gone bad. Okay, that's one of the challenges we have in this program because it's network based. Hello, are you back? It's not back. Okay, let me go to Chief Chidin Kwapara while we wait for Edalamba to come back. Chief Chidin Kwapara, my question is the documents I've seen bears the name of Chris Isiguzo, the immediate past NUJ national president, as part of the defendants to this matter, and he's claiming, ignorant of it, and he's also claiming he's being blackmailed, and he has even threatened legal action, against his the people he claimed to have been blackmailing him. So I don't know if you've been able to cite these documents, and what do you make of his claim? Oh, yeah. If you can hear me.
The truth remains that comment. I can hear you loud and clear.
Okay, okay,
Can
go
you
on.
hear me?
Go on. I can hear you. Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yes,
Okay.
clearly.
I, I, I was saying that comments are free, but facts are sacred. When you pick up the uh, that court document, you will see all the names of the defendants. And if is anybody put in his name for all these years that this matter was in court, and he comes to tell us that he never knew about it, that would be strange. If he didn't get to know, somebody ought to have told him. If somebody didn't tell him, that again will be strange. If for any reason, if for any reason the matter remained in court for all this while and a judgment given, and he claims he never knew and that he was being blackmailed, that would be another strange story. He has threatened, according to that document, I can't really say that it was his document, excuse me. But then, if it is his document and he has threatened court action, we'll see how he will get out of it. This wasn't a village a tribunal. It was a high court of Imo State that the matter was. And our people joined with him that were attending these court sessions. If those people didn't tell him that they found his name in this, that would be another strange news. So let's just wait and see how he goes to carry out his threat of dragging anybody to court. We'll just wait and see.
Okay, because
We'll just
actually,
wait and see.
you and I are not lawyers, but at least from
Mm.
the layman's perspective, we know that if anybody has an issue in court, you are always put on notice. In fact, the court will not proceed until you are notified. The court will insist
Mm.
that you are served, and be sure to see evidence of service before the court will proceed. So that is why,
Exactly.
yeah, that's why it's doubtful to me, And the former president worked in sync with the other faction of the NUJ in Imo State. In fact, one of his last outings, one of his last events was a program they had in Imo State. I don't actually know what the caption is, but he had a huge event in Imo State where the new leadership.
Mm.
I don't know if it's the election that actually held in Imo State or something like that. So
Yes,
I don't know
yes,
how you
yes,
could be
you are
doing
correct.
all of that romancing with those factions in Imo State, and he's not aware of a matter that had a 2 year lifespan.
And moreover, that wouldn't be the first time of his visiting Imo State. I know he has come here before for some other reasons. So, like I said earlier, let us just wait and see him
Okay.
take a civil suit
Okay.
against people that have come up with what is now on ground.
Okay.
It will be another interesting matter.
Yeah. So it does seem the Lambert is back. Unfortunately, it's like he moved from his position, and yeah. So your phone was okay. It's okay now. It's okay. It's okay. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I'm hearing you properly.
Okay.
I'm
So
hearing you properly.
okay. So the last question I asked you before the we had this INEC type of glitch.
Technical hitch.
This one is
Glitch, exactly, that's the
INEC
word.
type of glitch because it comes at the nick of the time, you know. So I was asking you a question concerning Isiguzo's denial, the former national president of
Oh,
NUJ.
okay, okay,
His
yes,
denial that
yes.
he's
He,
not
he, he,
he's been blackmailed, that he's not aware of this matter, and he has also threatened legal action against his so-called purported blackmailer. So, what do you have to say about this? Oh, why the glitch has come back again? I hope I hope this glitch is not. The Lambert, can you? Oh, this is serious. Okay, he's off again. Let me see if he can connect back. He's off again. Let me see if he can connect back. Um, can he come back? He's trying to come back, but I think it's a network issue. Yeah. Okay. While we wait for him to, you know, get back to us, he's trying earnestly to come back, but the network is not allowing him. Okay. Let me come back to you, Chief Kwapra. Um,
Mhm.
now with what has happened, you know, what do you think should be the with this judgment now that the union has? You know, what do you think should be the next move or the right move for the union now? You know, considering what is going on, because the statement I read from Wangoma was saying that there was an arrangement for lease by the former NUJ leadership in Imo State. You know, even though that leadership was still in court, you know, all through their tenure, there was a case in court to determine the true leadership of the Imo NUJ, which has not been settled till now. So that body did they have the powers at that time to be able to negotiate or even lease, you know, any assets of the union, as it were, at that time?
Well, you recall that you had made it clear that you and I are not lawyers.
Yeah.
But that is not to say that we do not know what is good or bad.
Yeah.
Now, now that the judgment has been given, people ought to be very, very, very thankful to those who uh, succeeded in maintaining the status quo.
Yeah. Who stood guard
The
to
status
protect the
quo,
union?
yes, to protect both the union and the property. If what you said that the statement issued by Wanguma is to say that there was such a plan to lease and not to sell, fair enough. Now that The court has said don't. It should remain so. Let us ensure that nobody goes beyond what the court has now said. Because if there is any step beyond what the court has said, then we will get to know that there is something outside, a hidden agenda. And it will also go to point to what he has tried to defend. Now, when my father was alive, there was something he used to tell people. He was always saying, if somebody calls you somebody that loves eating pounded yam, and people get to know that that is usually your practice, if you get to any function, just tell them to give you boiled yam instead of eating pounded yam. That nobody will even know that you have used your teeth to pound the boiled yam into pounded yam. Another thing that old man used to say was that out of two evils, you should choose the lesser evil. Leasing or selling is evil. Allowing the court judgment to remain. There is the group that is happy. Obviously, there will be another group that will not be happy. That one is a lesser evil. But allow court judgment to remain. That man also says, and I am translating this for use of the public, if there is anything anybody says you have done, and within you, you know that you have not done it, please don't do it. If we are saying, or a group has said that you sold or you leased or you wanted to part with a new J property, and you come out to now say you did not. If my father was alive, he would have said, please make sure you don't do it. And that is just what I will have to say at this point. If they are denying, fair enough, we lose nothing. Nobody from the side that says don't sell or don't lease wants to appropriate that property. It is there for a new J. It's just that building is just like the army barracks. Soldiers will come and go, but the barrack will remain. The present crop of journalists are there now. They will be there until they go. The building will remain. Amadi Ukweche, that gave NUJ that building, is no more. The building is still there. We still remember that it was himself that gave NUJ that building. And if you go around the building, you will even see it, where the thing is engraved in the building. So we really wish and pray that that building will remain to serve Imo journalists and any other journalists, visiting journalists from anywhere, whether local, national, or international. That is what it should be. If you go to places, you will see old structures that people keep maintaining. It is historical. Nobody should destroy history. And that is my prayer. Nobody should destroy history.
Okay. All right, that's a good one. Unfortunately, we are missing Edda Lambert because there are some, issues I would have liked him to, throw light on or clarify. Like I understand why this matter, why judgment was being awaited, just few days to the judgment. Um, the the other faction had to rush to a magistrate court, and the magistrate court had to issue a warrant of arrest. on some of the occupants of that building. And as we are talking, they were remanded at the Owerri Correctional Center. Even though I understand yesterday they've been granted bail, but then, it tends to point towards the judicial rascality where everybody is complaining today. If a court is, I mean, if a matter is standing before a high court and the judgment date has been, communicated to the parties, just few days to it, what's the need of rushing to a lower court, a magistrate court? And is it that the magistrate court is not aware of this matter, that it now acted in a way that would suggest that it had overridden, a higher court to now act on a matter that is going to be adjudged by a higher court? I mean, from a general perspective, what do you think? Because this is all we've been seeing. Sometimes you see courts of coordinate jurisdiction giving conflicting judgments. Today, now we are seeing lower courts, giving judgments above higher courts. I mean, where is this taking us to?
My dear, this is part of the glitch we talk about. Glitch in the sense that these are human beings. They are not even journalists. They only that they were found in the premises, and behold, they became scapegoats, and they were thrown into detention, into the correctional center. There were 4 of them. That is not fair. That is not fair at all. Honestly, these are human beings that have families, and not that they were involved in any matter whatsoever. And from nowhere, people who told their families that they were going for business or they were going for any serious business that has to make for the daily living of the family, excuse me. News now filtered back to the families that they have been sent to the correctional center. I mean, in Rotary, where I have been staying for decades now, there is
The four-way test?
the 4-way test. And one of it is this the truth? This thing you want to say or do, is it the truth? Another one says, even if it is the truth and you say it, will it build goodwill and better friendship? Even if it will build goodwill and better friendship, is it fair to all concerned? These are issues. You now go and bring somebody that knows what you are not doing, or that has no business between the quarrel you have with your friend or your group or whatever, and throw them into the correctional center. And you want them to be happy when they come out. They have actually suffered. But then, will they be happy? How will they see those who have traumatized them? It's for me, it doesn't make sense. And then this is coming from a magistrate court, when a matter is already being handled at the High Court. I am not a lawyer. It is for them to now say whether it is proper or not. I really, really, really don't like it as a person.
Okay. All right. Time is not really on our side anymore, and it does seem that Lambert may not be able to connect with us again. So, as we round off, let me ask you the last question, which is a bit away from what we are discussing now, more on the freedom of expression as a journalist. One of the things we hold very dearly to us is the right to freedom of expression and free speech. If you look at the situation in Imo State now, it does seem that that is under serious attack. Because as I'm talking to you, one of the veteran broadcasters, Nosonkwa, is behind bars. He's been in prison for months now. I don't know how his case is progressing. You know, another government critic, Fabian Hiekweme, is behind bars. I'm not sure he has been charged to court. He's been held without being charged to court. You know, and so many others, are passing through the same in Imo State. Some we don't know because they are not very visible enough for us to know. But I tell you, so many people are passing through this situation. And even yesterday, one of us also, Chidebu Okoma, was harassed, by the police. He was invited over a story he did, by the police. If I think the commissioner of police in Imo State had to intervene, to douse the tension. I don't even know if the matter has been settled properly because I remember Nosongpa visited the police a day before he was arrested, and it all seemed good. All of a sudden, they came after him. So, even the case of Chidebena, I don't know whether the CP's intervention has rested the matter or if they are still going to arrest him again. I mean, what does this portray our state as? Let's leave the national level because I know the cases of Pharaoh Timi and other people at the national level have their own. But in Imo State, our own state, with all this happening, how does it portray our state?
Yeah, you see, let me put it this way. I like discussing issues from point of knowledge and
Okay.
not speculation. When it comes to a situation where I get the facts, I will discuss it painstakingly and correctly. The only thing I need to talk about is that we must allow the rule of law to be practiced here in Nigeria, not just Imo State. What does the law say? What does it tell us about this or that? Free speech, freedom of association, all these freebies are there. We must allow the rule of law to operate. We must allow the rule of law to operate. If you see, the police, for instance, they have a right to invite me or invite any citizen. If there is a report made against me or any other person, they have that right. And I am saying that just like the commissioner of police did in the case of Chidebube Okoma, which you just mentioned, he looked at it and didn't see any reason for this. He now decided, because the buck for now stops on his table. Whatever any member of the command does, it rubs off on him as the commissioner of police. So I will appeal to him to keep educating his men. The important thing is that we must allow the rule of law to operate. Where the rule of law operates, there are so many things that will not happen. That is just the way I want to put it. The
Okay.
rule of law must be allowed to operate.
Okay.
And in terms of detention, the the law states the number of hours or days. Beyond that, you are now flouting the law. So if we allow the rule of law to operate in Nigeria, this place will be far better than what it is now.
Okay.
So
Um,
I will leave it at that.
okay. Okay. It does seem Elder Lambert just came in now, and unfortunately, our time is wrapping up. But let me see if we can at least hear something from him. Yeah, Elder
Excuse
Lambert,
1 minute.
welcome back from your sabbatical. I don't know, it's like you are being technologically
Sorry,
attacked.
sorry.
No, I think he went
Sometimes
to
all this night
drink a
feel
cup
like
of
always
tea.
calling your phone. It's not you.
Yeah, it's yeah. I know when you have phone calls, it will distort your connection.
You know, I'm
Okay,
doing my
so
production now.
yeah. So we're just wrapping up. We've just discussed, but let me give you like 2 minutes to wrap up your position on Isiguzo's case
Yes,
before we
yes.
wrap up.
The issue is that Isiguzo is neck deep in the deal, and it's a fraudulent deal because he has no right by any UJ constitution as a national president to sell any property in any state council. Section 5 of our constitution made it so. He has no president, natural president has any right to interlope in the affairs of our state councils. Even when you are doing your elections, all they do is supervise, bring in people to supervise what you're doing, not to talk of selling property. But this one, he has to, come down to sell it. And let me tell you why they did it. They had the impression that the former governor's protege in-law will be the governor. Unfortunately, he didn't become the governor. So all their whole plan, shattered. That is what is happening. So it's very unfortunate that they dabble into a deal that is fraudulent against the impetus and integrity of journalists in Imo State. And it's very regrettable and unfortunate.
Okay. So quickly, can you bring us to speed on what is the situation of those who were remanded in the correctional center by a magistrate court? We
Yes,
understand
the
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 correction
NUJ
magistrate
folk.
had to
today.
the magistrate court had to will I say unseat a high court or overrule a high court in Imo State, give us a little bit information about that and what the situation is today.
The situation is, unfortunately for us, the magistrate has to vacate. He had to vacate the order today. So the people maybe they must have been released by now. But I know about 3 hours ago, between 12 and 1, the judgment was vacated by the same magistrate who said she was deceived into doing what she did.
Oh,
So
the magistrate herself said she was deceived, right?
yes, she said nobody told her that there's a pending matter in the High Court. That is what happened. These people are full of deceit and fraudulent
So that's that. Yeah. So
activities. It's a
sometimes,
very unfortunate that journalists.
yeah. So that brings us to the question about lawyers. The behavior of lawyers because a lawyer filed this matter, right?
Yes,
And before you take a brief from a client,
not even
you
a
would have
lawyer,
asked questions.
SAN, Senior Advocate
You
of
know
Nigeria.
the surrounding issues concerning the matter. Definitely, the lawyer knows this matter is pending
Mm,
in the high court, and he went to shop for judgment in a
mm.
lower court. I mean, shouldn't the union petition the legal privileges, whatever counsel they have, over this kind of matter? I mean, this is where I mean we should do our bit to fix the system. If a lawyer has done this and the judge, I mean the magistrate herself has confessed that she was deceived, does it not call for a petition from the union to the Legal Privileges Council?
Yes, we are considering that. We are doing anytime from we are doing that. We want to deal with that, but we understand also that that is the modus operandi of the so-called Reverend Father and this lawyer. That is what they do. That is how they do it. It's akin
La-
to land grabbing. They are used to land
Hmm.
grabbing, and their names have been jumping out and jumping in,
OJ, that man is not
correlating
a
or
reverend
related to
father.
land grabbing.
Uh, yeah,
OJ, that
It's
man
very
is not a
unfortunate.
reverend
that's
father.
an Anglican priest. Yeah. Well, Reverend, the key thing is
He's
Ah,
that
not a
Reverend,
reverend father.
that's
Reverend is
Reverend
Reverend is
Engineer,
there.
Reverend Engineer.
After the Reverend, it now takes the direction
Not,
he wants. But the fact is that there's Reverend there. Okay.
not
So
a
that's what
reverend
we
father.
call him. He said he's a reverend,
Okay.
reverend engineer.
Uh-huh. Anglican,
Come on,
Anglican priest,
Yeah.
come on, let me
So
not
see.
a Catholic priest.
some people are also thinking that in view of the high court judgments, that the union, ought to also approach the EFCC to investigate, because this is financial crime. If somebody, fraudulently sells what doesn't belong to him, probably taking money from somewhere, money was paid into an account and all that, it calls also for investigation by the EFCC. Would the union be doing this?
Yes. Yes, we are thinking on it towards that because we are going to hold our Congress in the next 56 hours and we will take all those things into consideration in synergy with our lawyer and then
Uh,
we will do the needful.
all right.
Don't mind it, so very
So
soon,
as
very
we are
soon
wrapping
we
up,
will understand where it is.
yeah. So as we are wrapping up now, tell us, what is the mood like over there? What is the mood like amongst the journalists in Imo State?
Very many journalists are very, very happy. Christmas is a few days away, but for us, it's a Christmas already. It's Christmas already because it is nobody thought they themselves, the people we call the Obote men, these people we call them the Obote men. They never believed that they will lose this election,
We
this
don't
matter
we
in
don't
court.
accept those descriptions and qualifications on air. Unfortunately, I'm going to ask you to
Oh
withdraw
well,
it,
well,
because
with due respect, I
yeah,
withdraw
yeah,
them.
we don't.
I can
Yeah,
withdraw it, but
unfortunately,
whatever
we
it
don't
is,
allow that.
they now
Yeah.
understand. They now understand that what they did is wrong, and that there are journalists in Imo State, and
Yeah.
that we want to do things creditably right, and that is what we have done.
Okay. So, Chief Nkwapara, as an elder in the field, I'm sure your generation would have been at their prime days when this property was gifted, and when it was like, slipping off your fingers. Only God knows how you would have been feeling at that time. So now that you are reassured that it's not going anywhere, how do you and your generation feel about it?
Honestly, it's just like asking me or asking any father if he's happy when he gets a son, you know. And we are so happy that the thing has remained. We really thank the judge for being fearless, factual, and then did the right thing at the appropriate time. The building should remain. That is my prayer and that is our wish. Those
Okay.
of us who enjoyed it will want to leave a legacy for those that will come after us. I really don't go there very often. I don't go there very often, but each time I cross that place, there is
You hold
that
your head high.
sense of,
You always hold your head high that this is
of
your
course,
secretariat.
of course, a
Yeah.
legacy we are leaving behind. For somebody like Ben Oswagu to have issued several releases, came out openly to condemn it. That is what it should be. If anybody inherits anything, that person should do everything possible by the time he hands over. You don't destroy what you have inherited, and that is
Okay.
not too good for anybody.
Gentlemen, I want to thank you for being part of this program today. It's been a wonderful time with you, and you've really nailed the matters we raised here, and I appreciate it. So I want to thank you, the Lambert Ojukwu, for being part of the program. Thank you for coming.
Thank you very much. I'm very
Okay.
grateful.
I also thank Chief Chidin Kwapara, the elder in the house, for both of you are elders, but
Co-
you know, elder to elder. So
No, Ojo is coming behind me. He can
yes, yes,
confirm there
I know
now.
you are the super
Okay,
elder.
yeah,
You are
yeah.
the super elder. So you are the
Don't mind,
grandfather.
Ojo,
he's the
these are
super veteran.
Yes, yes,
He's
yes.
the super veteran.
uh
Uh,
You see, that's why I said that we want to leave the heritage for those
yeah,
who are coming behind us. And
yes,
I am happy that they did something that we are all happy about.
yes.
So, OJ, God bless
Thank you,
you.
sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you
Thank
all
you.
Uh-huh.
for being part of the program. I also want to extend my, heartfelt appreciations to Comrade Precious Wadike, the dogged chairman of Imo NUJ. even though he's not on ground in presently, but his impact is felt heavily and massively and impactfully. So
Mm.
we appreciate him
Mm.
for all his gallantry in ensuring that this heritage is protected. We thank Comrade Steve Uzechi,
Mhm.
for all his support and doggedness. I
Austin
also thank
Akwilonu.
Stephanie. Stephanie, the one we
Yes.
call Elephant, we'll thank her because,
Yes.
yeah, she is, she shows what the strength of a woman is. She's always
Yes.
updating, always moving anywhere that is needed to be moved to, making contacts, Oh, no, no, no. She impressed me. So, in fact, everybody, worked very, Chidebere
Iwoha and Chidebere
Iwoha, yeah,
Yeah.
Okoma.
Chidebere Iwoha
Yeah.
also, worked,
And also
tirelessly.
Austin
Yeah,
Akwilonu.
Austin, and, in fact, everybody
Mm.
in the integrity group, as the group calls itself, they showed they have integrity. They showed they they are trustworthy, and we pray that God will bless
Resilience.
all of them. Thank you all.
Finally, anybody we have not mentioned his or her name should please not take any offense.
Yeah, no, no, no. Of course,
We love them all.
we can't mention everybody here. I appreciate
Uh-huh.
everybody. We can't
Yes.
mention everybody. I appreciate everybody.
Mm.
Thank you all. Thank you for being part of the program. And yeah, gentlemen and ladies, thank you
Yeah.
for watching today. I am sure this program has enriched your knowledge about the development concerning the cell or the failed cell of the NUJ Secretariat in Imo State. Now the journalists are happy that their secretariat was not sold, and they are grateful to the court for giving them this Christmas gift of protecting what they all hold very dear to their hearts. And at this point, I'll be drawing the curtain. I want to thank you for watching and to assure you I'm going to be back again same time for another edition of this program next week. Until I come that time, my name is Obidi Marco, your uncle, and I say Aluta Continua.